Welcome back to For the Mamas Collective Podcast, a space where we believe in the power of connection and shared experiences.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jaleesa. We're so thrilled to have you back for our 14th episode.
This podcast has been a dream for both of us because, as moms, we know just how much connection, community, and a space to feel seen and heard really matter.
For the Mamas Collective is all about creating that space, a warm, welcoming environment where mothers from all walks of life can come together to share stories, explore the highs and lows, and celebrate the journey of motherhood.
In today's episode, it's a special one. So, both of us are coming off our birthdays, and
Mhm.
instead of brushing it off or just rushing past it like we so often do,
Mhm.
we want to take a moment to reflect.
Yes. So we're diving into what this new year of life means for each of us, what we're leaving behind, what we're taking with us, and how we want to grow in this next chapter.
But first, let's check in.
If you're new here, this is our weekly Rose and Thorn check in, where we each share a rose, something good from our week, and a thorn, something that's been a little tough. Danielle, you want to go first?
Yes. So I
Okay.
don't think it's any secret, right? These
Yeah.
are probably going to roll directly into today's conversation.
Uh huh.
But my rose this week was celebrating my birthday.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you the last time I really celebrated. Like, it was
Wow.
probably 30. And
Oh.
I'm 36. I have not celebrated a birthday in that long. So
Hmm.
it was a blast.
Yeah.
Um, this week's thorns. I just feel like under the roof of
Yeah.
my home in Atlanta is the thorn, right? There was just a lot going on this week.
Mhm.
Got some unexpected news from a family member that, wasn't just don't wish it on anyone.
Mhm.
Um, and the dogs have been fighting. Like the foster is just out of control. I the kids were on spring break, so they were home and trying to work, and it
Yeah.
was just a lot. So, that's why I say under the roof. Still
Yeah.
blessed,
Yeah.
grateful to have a home, but wow, it has
Yeah.
been a week. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I got going on. How about you?
I mean, the same, right? Celebrating birthday stuff. Although mine was last Saturday. Um, but I did little things to celebrate myself this week from beyond that point, which felt good. I don't know. I like to come into my birthday like this is my new year. Like instead of
Mhm.
January 1st, this is typically when that I feel the motivation to start doing something. So I was just kind of buzzing this week with that. And my thorn is kind of similar. We had to lay my great uncle to rest, which is like
Mm.
sad. But at the same time, it's always nice. We just at the funeral yesterday. It's always nice to be with family and remember that like we really love each other. This is a very loving
Yeah.
environment. I hate that it comes at the time of a loss. But it's a nice reminder. And I think it's gonna help me go into the next week and just kind of being like, life is so much greater than these inconveniences and stressors and triggers,
Yes.
all the very real things we have going on. But I don't want to die. And my last thought is like, man, I gotta wash the dishes. Like that just is like I'd let that not be my last thought when my day comes. And I wasn't excited for 36. I was like, ugh, I don't want to be on this side of 35, but
No, I know my mom was like, "Well, you've crossed over, Danielle. Thank you, Kim.
yeah.
Thank you." Like now we're on a first name basis because why would
Right.
you say that?
Right.
I don't want to hear that just yet, especially not like
Yeah.
the day of my birthday. You could have wait till the day after next
Yeah.
week. It's April 10th.
Right.
How does it feel to be on the other side of there? Like, thank you. Good morning.
Right. Like, man, I don't know if I want that. So I gotta
Right.
start I gotta start thinking young. That's why I cannot say I'm old. I gotta start thinking young because all the 35, I was feeling it. So now I'm like, I think I gotta start my inner dialogue needs to be like, girl, you so young, cause oof. the way my knee work, nah, my body is believing my thoughts right now. So I got to change this up.
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, again, I had a feeling this was gonna like steamroll into the
Yeah.
conversation. So we just gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question, which you've answered a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but how are you fully stepping into this year of life?
Man, so yeah, I think right. So I got to be I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Forever 21 is shutting down, so I can't even dress like y'all. I don't even know if y'all listening who dress like a Forever 21. Hey, but you know what? As long as they got my size, I might have to try it on. I have to find a way. I have got to find a way to get youth in my body because this is diabolical what's happening.
I guess.
So but so that's me being silly. But that's what I want. I just want more
Oh,
joy.
mm,
Like I said, just coming behind, looking at a funeral, thinking about everybody's mortality and
yeah.
my own. I'm like, I have to experience more joy. This can't be
Yes.
it. Like, I'm not stressing about who the president is, what's going to happen, what's going on. Honestly, if the world burns down, I'm going to find a plot of land and I'm going to start figuring it out.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I don't care what happens in the world. I just want to focus on joy and getting back to myself. I just started this book and slash journal 12-week program thing. It's called The Artist's Way, and it's a way to get like back to
Mm,
your creative self and healing a lot of things. And I was like, this is a good way to start this
yeah.
year so I can get this book out, these books out, and I'm feeling stuck. And so I just don't want to be stuck. I don't want to
Yeah.
be unhappy. I want to give myself a joyful year.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Yeah.
and I know, like, kind of our just like twin flame energy is always
Uh-huh.
there, but I had those thoughts this week, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't even care. It's never been about like the gifts, right?
Mhm.
It's never been about any of that. But I just feel like this year I want to live. So, like, if we're gonna do
Mhm.
anything, like, please don't spend it locally. Like, like,
Yeah.
when I say that, is that not too far fetched? But like, I
Yeah.
want to go and like create experiences. I feel like
Mhm.
every day, and I remember like having a job where like we didn't have PTO, and then you got like a little bit of PTO, or then you had to
Yeah.
accrue your PTO. And now that I'm in a position where like, you start with like 16 days or something, and then you have the holidays, and
Mhm.
you get more each year as you earn your tenure, like whatever. Um, I found myself where I really like try to pack that in to like the end of the
Yeah.
year. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna like take time off while the kids are out of school, and then I'm
Mhm.
like hoarding it all year long. But you always see like these posts where it's like, hey, how to make the most out of your PTO, like
Yeah.
5 day weekend here, do this, do that. That's what I want. Like I
Yeah.
want to maximize my time. I want to create new experiences. I want to drop the fear of just like getting out of town. You know what I mean? Like making an
Mhm.
on the fly decision to go. Like maybe we didn't pack a
Yeah.
bag. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just really enjoying those moments. Like that's what I want more than anything this year. And
Yeah.
I know it's within reach. So the challenge is going to be, actually putting the action behind my
Mhm.
words.
Mhm.
So I love that for
Yeah.
you.
Yes, and I love that for you, right? It's and then the action, like maybe it doesn't come with this immensely thought out plan. A little bit of that again in that finding creativity in life and how to find joy in life and be
Yeah.
free is also like, okay, spur of the moment, here we go. This is
You
just
have to create
happening.
it. Like sometimes I think we're
Yeah.
looking for it, like we're waiting to stumble upon it. But the
Yeah.
beauty in all of it is creating it, which is I think like the
Mhm.
creativity, right? Like we
Mhm.
we have to get in and create. Like the moment is going to be everything that we make it.
Yeah. Yep.
And if we put all that anxiety into it that it takes us to like plan a trip, Trey has told me so many times, like, you didn't pre-plan, the fun out of this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, have I? Like, I'm trying to make it easier on the family.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, just getting out of our way and doing that. It's like, hey, we got plane tickets. We'll figure out a hotel when we get there. That might be a
Mhm.
little too spontaneous, but
Yeah.
I bet it would be fun. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that, the level of fun we're able to create in our home that we couldn't also take that across the world with us. We're
Right.
not going to sleep on the street. We know that much, like
Right.
it's just like just taking some leaps of faith, stepping out of our comfort
Yeah.
zone and just like fully executing, on the things we want to do instead of talking
Mhm.
about it.
Mhm.
So,
Right,
yeah.
believing in the moment versus trying to plan for it, for
Yeah.
sure. So, okay, so that kinda sounds like, we're taking some things, we're leaving some things behind. So, what's one thing, you're saying thank you, but no thanks to this year? I think you kinda spoke to it, but maybe there's a little bit more depth to go into there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I maybe did, but I think indecisiveness, like,
Mhm.
I'm not taking that into this next year. I know we've been having a lot of conversations, recently, like this past week, I mean, and kinda like the week before leading up to my birthday, but just like, I'm not tiptoeing around anything, right? Like, I'm gonna speak
Yeah.
candidly. I am very much who I am,
Mhm.
and if we're in relation, like whether it's like a personal relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, like whatever that
Mhm.
looks like, I'm going to speak like based on who I am, right?
Yeah.
Like not I'm going to consider how you'll receive it, but I'm also not going to hold back because you might be offended or
Yeah.
because it might be too deep for you or you don't understand it. Like I'm not going to hold back for those reasons. We can continue to work through and process it together, but I'm
Mhm.
also like I'm not going to be indecisive. I'm not going to be like, "Hmm, should I tell him that? Should I tell her that? Do I share this? Do I not?" No, if I had the thought to do it, I'm just going to do it. And I
Yeah.
don't think, I'm not talking about like reckless thoughts or like
Right.
things to hurt people, but just very much like, we always say that, like, oh, I was just thinking about you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but why didn't you just say something? You know what I mean? Like in that
Yeah.
moment that you had the thought, why did you try to store the thought instead of picking up your phone and shooting the text? Hey, you just
Mhm.
crossed my mind. How are you? Right?
Uh-huh. Right.
Like, and I just feel like if we kind of were more responsive in that way, like that might be the check-in that you needed. Like, oh, you know what,
Mhm.
girl, I was having a moment. I'm so glad you reached out to take my mind away. Or you know what I mean? So that I could
Right.
step back far enough to really realize what was going on and I didn't need to sit in that anymore. But like
Right.
that's what I'm taking into 2026 or this
Mhm.
next year around the sun, that we're
Mhm.
completing. And I think with that, it's going to be very clear. We've already talked about this, but like some people are going to go with you and some people are not, and that's
Yeah.
okay. If
Mhm.
who I decide to be doesn't suit you,
Yeah.
that's okay. You weren't
Mhm.
meant to go with me into this chapter. There's no love lost at
Yes.
all. But it's just like I can't not grow trying to appease everyone
Mhm.
around me. I'm not a people pleaser anymore.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
and maybe that was a
Yeah.
lot, but that's yeah, that those are some things that have to stay behind. I'm not and
Yeah.
but you know what? We know this. We
Uh-huh.
watched our mothers and they're like, I'm 40, I don't care now. And then it was like, oh, I'm 50. You remember Michelle Obama? She was like, I turned 50 and nothing. Like nobody
Yeah.
could say, you don't like the pants I wear? Oh well. Like
Uh-huh.
when she said that, I was like, yes,
Uh-huh.
Michelle.
Yeah.
But they do that at every stage. Like there's gonna be one at
Mhm.
60 and 70, and you just don't care anymore. And
Mhm.
so I think that's where I'm at in this year. It's just like I've been worried about the wrong things.
Yeah.
And I've been
Yeah.
worried about y'all more than I was worried about me. And
That
well,
part.
that's just not gonna work anymore. So we
Yeah.
just gonna leave that, where it was. But
Yeah.
and it's with love that I say it, like honestly, like with a
Mhm.
smile on my face and with love. Um,
Yeah.
but how about you?
I love that, putting yourself first really at the end of the
Oof.
day. And for me, I think I don't know if I'd call it self-doubt or indecision or maybe is it overthinking? I don't
Mhm.
know. Cause I don't be feeling like I'm thinking that deep about stuff, but then ain't nothing getting done. So something's happening. But
Right.
I don't know what that I don't know what the term is that I need to let go, but I feel this sense of and maybe it is some doubt and, like, not
Mhm.
giving myself permission, and my cousins and I were talking about this last night where, I'm like, I'm just trying to I need to do something to
Mhm.
move myself forward. And I think, I don't know, maybe I need to let go of no thank you, but no thank you to, like, excusing myself to death. Like, I put so many excuses onto why I can't complete something. Like, my "I can't" has so much of
Mhm.
an excuse. It itself is an excuse, and then there are excuses to get to the "I can't." I think I need to let
Right.
that go. And
Mm.
maybe that encompasses doubt and indecisiveness and overthinking. Really thinking about, like, even with the podcast, right? Like, man, I'm so scared to say something that is going to hurt someone in my family, but it's my
Mhm.
truth. Like, if you hurt, that's your
Yeah.
work. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about you. If you took it as you, you wrong. Because this was me.
Right.
This is my feeling and my
Right.
perspective. It's not about you. And so I'm trying to
Mhm.
let that go of not not considering other people, but considering myself first and letting
Yes.
go of fear. Let's say all of those terms, they encompass fear. And I guess
Yeah.
that's what I need to let go of. Thank you, but no thank you to any form, any version of fear that keeps me from my greatest and highest and best self. I
Mhm.
want to let that go because I got so much to give in the way that I want to give. And I'm limiting that right now
Yeah.
because of fear from whatever space it comes
Yep.
from. And it's just like, it's not I don't feel good. Like, I am pretty much a great person, and you don't really get the whole lot of that because I'm halfway fearful about something. It's not necessarily scary, but like, oh, I don't want to say, like you said, like you're thinking about somebody, and my excuse to be like, oh, I had a long day. I didn't talk. And well, can I get on the phone, and they gonna need me, and I just don't. What if I don't have it to give? What if I don't? Me, a lot of
Yeah.
times as a therapist, it works, but in real life, I'm often like, what if I say the wrong thing? Or why did I say that? Or I should have said I should have said
Mhm.
something better. I shouldn't I my words should be better. I mean, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. With
Yeah.
love. I have my intentions are always great. I'm here to listen. I'm here to be who I am. And I'm sure nobody's thinking that, but that's the type of stuff that goes on in my head that limits
Right.
me. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, why
Well,
you
you know what I
there?
think it is? We've seen it, right? Like I don't think it's the people around us that are doing it per se, but because we've seen it, we have to consider it. Because there's also, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I've seen, I'm like, oh, I don't want that, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't want you to automatically assume because I said something that there was like malicious intent behind it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 don't do that. Um, However, this is who I am, and I had a
Yeah.
girlfriend and it was so weird because it was just like I was doing my thing in the house, like cleaning up, putting groceries away, whatever, talking to my mom, but like texting this girlfriend. And then I just got this feeling and I was like, ooh, something's not okay.
Mm.
Right. And I didn't
Mm.
know. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, what's going on? And I was like, I
Mm.
don't know. I just had this feeling like something wasn't okay. And I was texting you at the moment. So I'm asking, like, I'm just checking on
Yeah.
you. And she was like, "Oh no, I'm good. Like, but I appreciate you for checking." And like she received that though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put anything on you, but I felt
Right.
it and I don't want to miss it if you needed me in that moment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like yeah, now I'm trying to figure out where that feeling may have come from or who it belongs to or who I'm supposed to be led to. But at the same time, I didn't miss the potential over here because I was worried about
Mhm.
how she would receive it. Like, no, I'm just going to
Mhm.
live who I am. And yeah, we can get to a place of understanding. Like, I can continue to
Yeah.
talk until you get where I came from. That's
Yeah.
fine. But I never want you to just be like, oh, like that was rude. Or like, why would she say, like, I'm offended?
Right.
Like, no, no, no. I don't want you to be offended, but I also
Right.
don't want to censor who I am,
Right. This is my
you know?
perspective that I'm coming. I think right. It's like, if okay, my heart is full. I'm just coming. If that's don't pick it up.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, you surely don't have to pick it up.
You don't have
You
to
just
take it.
have to take because I'm not
Right? And
picking
that
that
is
up.
you can chew the meat and spit out the bones. I don't
Mhm.
eat the gristle. Some people do. You
Yeah.
might like that.
I'm, I ain't never been that hungry. I ain't getting that marrow out that bone. You can have
But
that.
but either way, I'm gonna give it all to you. You choose what you want to do with it. But yeah, and you
Yeah.
said something too. You made a great point about just about excuses.
Mhm.
And I read a book once. I'll have to find the title of it. I don't remember the name, but it was kind of centered around that, like no excuses, just results. Or maybe it was called like
Mhm.
excuses are bullshit or something like that. I don't know. It was written by two like Navy SEALs. And
Mm.
great book. Um, but where's I going with this? Oh, yes, like I will sit and excuse myself into oblivion. And
Yeah.
now, like, I've done nothing. And it's like I did
Mhm.
nothing because I felt guilty about doing what I wanted to do.
Yep.
So I made excuses to not do that. But the whole time I was making excuses, I also didn't do something else that could have been
Right.
done. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
Yes.
why are we doing that? Like, just get out
Yeah.
the way. Like, you got to do
Yes.
something. And so I've been like really mindful where, like, if I sit down, I'm like, okay, it's 2:29. If I'm not doing something by 2:39 at the
Mhm.
latest, there's a problem. You sat here
Mm.
for 10 minutes and you have nothing to show for it. Unless this was your relaxation time, which again, like every, there's a time and a place for everything.
Mhm.
But unless that's what you were meant to be doing, why did you just sit here and think yourself out of doing so many other
Yes.
things you could be doing? You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
so like we sit in our own way in that regard. And
Mhm.
sometimes for me, that's like shooting off a text message, or like I'll call my mom if I know she's off, because I know I can like talk and walk, and like I won't just sit down and have a conversation. I'm going to stay busy.
Yeah.
um and sometimes it's just like putting on a song. I'm just like, what music would get me in the zone or in the mood that
Mm.
I need to be in right now. But I have to move. Like I can't, unless I'm
Mm.
supposed to be relaxed, I have to move. And I think that is like what's going to move me towards doing what I want to do, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Right. See how it goes, but we can, yeah, right? It's a
Yeah.
mindset shift. I think that's where we are, and the intentionality behind shifting our mindset, putting all these pieces together and
Mm,
making it worth something. Getting
yeah.
closer to 40, I just
Oh,
don't want to look back and be like, "Man, I should have enjoyed 36."
yeah.
Well, no, I'm gonna have to enjoy 36 no
Yep.
matter what.
Yeah. And I think, if we're talking about what we're leaving behind, I think if I could say one thing that I would take with me,
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
would be the way I celebrated myself this year. Now that I know what that feels like as an adult, and not to say I
Mhm.
wasn't an adult at 30, but obviously I was playing with like a different, level of money. I was playing with a different
Yeah.
group of friends, a different living situation, like a different, all that, it was just different.
Yeah.
And like who I am now, this very much feels like this is life, right? Like
Mhm.
for the most part, I'm settled.
Yeah.
I understand that like relationships may change through the years, all that stuff, but like I'm at my core, nothing's changing.
Right.
And I want to take what I put into myself this year into next year and every year after that.
Yeah.
And if I could just, and not just for my birthday, right? But
Right.
like all the time.
Mhm.
Like, no, what am I doing for myself on a quarterly basis? What am I doing for myself
Mhm.
on a monthly basis, on a bi-monthly basis? You know what I mean? Like just
Yes.
making sure that like now we're getting down to the day to day. Did I do something for myself today? Because
Yeah.
I deserve it. I can't be
Mhm.
out here living. I've been here for 36 years. I can't live the rest of my life every day for everyone else.
Right.
And that's how it feels
Yeah.
sometimes, where it's
Oh,
just like, "Ooh,
yeah.
I'm laying my head down, but that's the first thing I've done for myself this morning because I didn't even
Right.
lift my head off the pillow for myself. That
Right.
was to get someone to school." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's just like, wow, I went a whole day and did
Yeah.
nothing for me. I know. I
Yes.
am taking that with me every
Mhm. I
day.
think I'm there
Something
with
for
you.
Danielle.
Yep. I think I'm there with you. That's what I would bring with me going forward. Is truly putting myself first. Like
Yeah.
everything pours from this vessel. And I am the only one that can truly choose how pouring into me looks and feels and
Yeah.
what it transitions into and transforms into. So again, last night I'm like, oh, Rob been at home with the kids all day while I was at the funeral. So like maybe I shouldn't go out with my cousins. Like I should just
Mhm.
knowing good and well I didn't want to be in the house with the kids. I just
Yeah.
didn't. I had
Yeah.
an emotionally draining day. I don't wanna hear no video game. I didn't wanna hear none of that. And it like the
Mhm.
energy, the emotion wasn't gone. I knew and I had known all week there's something that has to get out. And
Yeah.
staying at home wasn't gonna do it. Although we had some fun as a family unit. We don't do it.
Mhm.
We just watch movies, and Robert forced me to go on a walk. Yeah, and we just go out and do fun stuff. So I am enjoying them. But it was that's what I want to bring into this. Like, listen to
Yeah.
yourself. Listen to that voice that's telling you it is okay. Like, you should do that. You should
Yeah.
go and do that thing. And it was just
Yep.
me, my cousin, and his wife, and we had beautiful conversation
Yep.
over drinks. They younger than me. I'm like, oh, y'all showing me something new. I didn't know this restaurant was here. I didn't know about this. Oh, try
Right.
this food.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I guess I'm trying it. And then just the conversation we have about family and life was so beautiful. Shout out to Maisha,
Mhm.
because she be listening to the podcast. Love her. And it was just like, it was totally impromptu. I sat here like, ooh, let me take my little wig off and think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna take this dress off. I take this dress off, it's done. So, you know what? Let me do it. And I asked Rob, because I really hate asking for a babysitter last minute. I'm
Mhm.
like, do you want to go? He's like, no, I'm tired, but you can go. And I was like, yeah. And I do lean to him for like permission, because what he will do is do whatever he wants to do. And so
Right.
it almost takes him to be like, you can do what you want to do. And then this
Mhm.
morning I woke up and I was like, I have to start this Artist Way book and workbook and journaling. I'm up, but I'm not up. Don't bother me. I'm going to be journaling. It's going to be emotional. He was like, we're not thinking about you right now. We are
Right.
not thinking about it.
But we think about everybody before we think
Mhm.
about ourselves. So it's natural to
Yes.
try to like prepare them for our,
Yeah.
you know,
Absence.
unavailable. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Because I was trying to say unavailableness.
Yeah, like, I'm not available. Like, I'm
Yeah.
here, but I'm not here. And it
Yeah.
was and I, all the whole time I'm writing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, are they?" And he's just doing stuff. He's like, "Don't care." I actually have to make
Yeah.
a note to thank him for
And
creating the
they
space.
really don't.
They
Like
do not
they
care.
want us to do that. And but you know what it is? And we
Yeah.
know this about ourselves. It's hard to ask.
Yep.
It is so hard to ask, but I
Yeah.
promise you, they want nothing more than to support that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's, so beautiful. Like Trey shot me a text
Mhm.
message last night when he left. He had an event to go to, but like I had some girlfriends over to celebrate. And he shot me a message. He was like, "I'm proud of you, like
Mm.
for cultivating new friendships and for hosting.
Mhm.
Like you've always said you wanted to host, and here you are, you're doing it. But like you're putting yourself out there in ways that like I've heard you talk about. So like I see you." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you." You know what I mean? But
Right?
like he was happy for me in that moment, and it felt good that like he recognized, what was
Mhm.
going on. But at the same time, I mean, yesterday. Well, no, I guess we had already gotten rid of the baby. But I'll just be like, hey, like, I need some time or I'm gonna do this. And he'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm like, can I leave the baby here? And he's like, you don't have to ask. Like, just go. Just let me know
Yeah.
you're leaving so I know
Yeah.
I need to watch her,
Yeah.
But like
Right.
he's so good about that. And I forget that. I feel
Mhm.
like I have to do it all for some reason. And
Yeah.
and I don't. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm just gonna take that in and still be mindful though, because I do
Right.
think, like you said, like Rob is very much gonna do something for himself. But like there are partners who will kind of sit back and it's just like, well, now
Yeah.
one is doing everything and the other one's not doing anything. Like, no, no, no. Like, you have to, like,
Yeah.
push and pull. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Do
have to
that
push him out the house
dance.
sometimes or be like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
taking the kids today, so you can have the house to yourself, the quiet. Like, do what you want to do. You can stay here, you can
Right.
leave, you know what I mean? But like,
Right.
so that you have that space because you might not want to always ask for it, but like I can see you could use it.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's coming with me too. Just remembering that
Mhm.
they want me to be my best self as well, and it's okay to
Yeah.
ask for help and to say what I need. Because you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on a box today. Like, boy, this soapbox is good. But I mean, how old were you when you met Rob?
Oh, well, I was 22, 23.
22, 23. Okay.
Yeah.
And here we are at 36.
Yeah.
I mean, I met Trey at 28. So, we're like 8 years into knowing each other. You guys are like
Yeah.
15, 16,
Yeah.
17. I don't know, do math.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Whew.
but you guys are a lot, and we are
Yeah.
not the same people we were then.
Right.
And I don't think I realized that, like, I don't know, it's kind of like we know change is happening, but because it's happening at such a slow progression, we don't
Mhm.
always feel it. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not who I was at 28.
Oh, yeah.
And you might still be trying to love 28-year-old Danielle. Like, I need you to see what I need now, right? Like that, we
Yeah.
are evolving as people. And that's the beauty of relationship, is really like
Mhm.
growing and learning and being okay with it. Like, oh, okay,
Yes.
like this is the season you're in, baby, live your life, you know?
Right.
And so that's where I'm at, like not being afraid to say, like, hey, you have been loving me and it was great, but in this season, this is what I need.
Absolutely. Right, you
And
have to
that's fine.
speak to it because
Yeah, I mean, they're not
it's
mind
not
readers.
right, and it's not their responsibility. It's each individual person's responsibility to do enough work on yourself to recognize, "Oh, my needs have changed. My
Yeah. Yep.
expectations have changed. My
Yep.
boundaries have changed. I have to be honest about how I feel. If I'm
Yeah.
healing, I am speaking to my feelings to whomever needs to hear it. I'm
Yeah.
tired. No, I'm not. You're gonna have to catch me on a text message. I can't sit on the phone. I
Yeah.
That's not gonna be me. Or, like I can't do anything out of obligation. Like I will sit one way I'm gonna do it. One thing I'm going to do and think about, am I doing this out of obligation or do I really want to do this because it's
Mhm.
in my heart to do it?
Yep.
And that's pivotal, and then like with your partner recognizes it and you see a change in you too. Like, I'm not cold hearted, I think
Right.
I had to learn that. I think even Rob had to learn that about me. It's like, we've had a conversation about that before. It's like, it's not that I'm cold hearted. It's just that my boundaries were extremely firm in an unregulated way. But now I'm
Yeah.
coming into an age, or have been over the past few years, of regulation. Like, it's just no, and well, but what he witnessed was, a mother that gave, 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 gave. I'm not that woman. First of all, I never
Yeah.
was. But second of all, it now as I've aged, it's coming from love. When I tell you, I'm not doing that. And
Yeah.
I love you all the same.
Mhm.
And I feel no sense of obligation to you over me. I can't do it. I don't want to do that because now we have resentment and I don't want to fool with you versus, okay, my anxiety is trying to pull me out of an experience, so I'm going to do it
Mhm.
anyway. And then it's always wonderful when I say,
Yeah.
that's anxiety, or you are asking too much of me and I can't give it to you. I can only
Yeah.
show up in what I have to give, and if it's not enough for you, you're going to have to find it from someone else. And then so Rob is learning that about me. It's like, I'm not cold. I am deeply sensitive and deeply loving and
Mhm.
very protective of that. And it just looks so different now. But now we
Yeah.
like bounce off each other, and the dance is like, we caught a rhythm now. Whereas
Mhm.
early on, right, like 15 in, we had to learn. I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
learn that whoever has shown themselves to be a safe enough space to hold space for me and my vulnerability, I should do that. I should be vulnerable with them. It is
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
But they do have to prove that they are
Ooh.
a safe space. If you're not a
Yeah.
safe space, you're gonna get cold hearted. You get cold blooded. That's what, yeah, you're getting that.
Yeah.
But everybody in my life now, they don't need to see that part of me because I have curated myself to a degree with only people who match me attract to me. If
Yeah.
you're in my life, you should know you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Cause
Yep.
I really don't fool with people if I don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think you could have said it better.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's not, and
Yeah.
I mean, this is coming from, because me, it was what, like 3 years ago, and I was on that boundary setting. Boy,
Yeah. Cutting them.
I was creating them. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Danielle, you got these walls built up." Baby, I don't know what walls you're looking at. I was building with like invisible bricks or something because I had no boundaries. And
Yeah.
so learning that it was okay to create them, and then creating them, and then enforcing and
Mhm.
reinforcing when people didn't get it. I'm still
Mhm.
in that stage. I
Mhm.
set these boundaries 3 years ago, still trying to work out, what's acceptable and what's not. And that's
Mhm.
fine. You can be who you are, I'm going to be who I am.
Yeah.
But if we're not meeting in the middle, if we're not
Mhm.
able to be ourselves and be with each other, then we just have to accept that and go different direction.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
Like that. And that is what I think was hard to learn. But for those who, like you said, were just like deeply, that we're deeply committed to,
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to take all the time it needs because I know I'm not willing to lose you over this boundary,
Mhm.
but I also know it's not an unreasonable boundary.
Right.
So what do you need from me to understand its importance so that I
Yes.
feel safe and that I know you're going to respect this? I have put
Yeah.
extra time into those
Yes.
who I want around that I need to
Right.
respect this boundary. But for those of you who are just like, the passing by, like,
Mhm.
oh no, baby, this is what it is. You can
Yeah.
get right or get left, but
Yeah.
you have two options.
Right.
But like I don't know you. For those who
Yeah.
who are here, who are gonna be here, who I know ain't going nowhere, yeah,
Mhm.
I understand change can be hard, but we're
Yeah.
gonna get through this together
We can
because
get
this is
through
who
it.
I am. Right. And when your season comes up or when this comes up for you, I will be here in the same way. And I would
Mhm.
expect for you to kind of coach me and bring me along on that journey with you
That
because
part.
that's what we're doing. But
Mhm.
yeah, those boundaries and just knowing that you're not a bad person for having them and for
Yes.
honoring yourself and for trying to get other people to understand. And
Yeah.
you know, I think
Yeah. That
that's
feels
what it is.
like what you kinda telling your younger self, right? Is like what you've
Yeah.
curated and created for yourself is all that you need. Like keep working in it. There's not anything you
Hmm.
necessarily need to add to that. But like younger self to me, and I say this to clients all the time, sometimes we're gonna go back and we're gonna go to your younger self. And your younger self is you yesterday. Like it ain't
Right.
even always the 2 year old. We don't have to dig in
Hmm.
deep in trauma.
Yeah.
Sometimes you yesterday missed it. So let's go
Yep.
back. And so that's what that feels like, speaking to yourself at 28 or 25
Yeah.
or even 30, right?
What's so crazy is my girlfriend said that last night when she was here. I mean, she got a little deeper than, my my drink to stomach ratio may have been able to I don't know how we should say that, right? But I was like, oh, like you're getting deep, but this is good. And as soon as she said quantum physics, I was like,
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
it's above where I'm at right now, but I'm
It's
listening.
above me now.
And yeah, but she said that she was like, like quantum physics tells us that like time isn't linear. And so
Mhm.
there's going to be instances where your younger self is hearing the advice from where you are now.
Mm.
And that younger self is going to move off of that. But
Mhm.
do they ever catch up? I don't know. I don't know
That's
what that looks like, but
crazy. I think we're having a
yeah,
quantum moment right now because I literally have
yes.
been saying the same thing in therapy to clients all last week in a different way.
Wow. Yeah. And that's
Literally.
just what she said last night. So when you said what you said, I was like, wait a minute.
Uh,
Mara was saying this. And I was like, but that's amazing because
yeah.
sometimes we recognize that we're doing it, right?
Mhm.
But sometimes we don't. And I think
Mhm.
that's what's so amazing when we don't, that it's just like, wow, like younger me is gonna be better because of this. And I didn't
Yes.
even realize this was happening. But
Yeah, like she
yeah,
doesn't
and like
have
you
to show up now in her protective
yeah,
armor. Like she can just witness and trust
yeah,
that I got it because she
yeah,
experienced the healing that I experienced in the moment that was for her. It wasn't for me. You standing on
yeah.
boundaries for that younger version of
Yeah,
yourself
and
that
you're
really needed
saying
it.
younger, like, we're not talking about
We not
kindergarten, Danielle and
talking
Jaleesa.
kindergarten.
We talking about yesterday, last week,
48
last month,
hours.
last yeah, like we can be talking about recent, and like
Yes.
that's what just sealed it for me. You know what I mean? I was like, oh,
Yes.
that was the full circle. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 35 and 62 days year old self.
Yes.
Like, that's who it was for. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna miss that because I got it now. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're not compounded with stress and triggers and trauma and anxiety. Like, I can let that go now. Okay. And I
Yes.
can move
Ooh,
forward.
yes.
Yeah.
There
Very
we go. So
good.
okay. Well, while we're this deep in our quantum moment,
Yeah, I like that.
let's just keep pushing through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've talked about so much.
Mm,
I really don't know
let me see
kind
if I
of
put
where to
anything.
go, but like if you if there was one thing you could heal this year, what would you want that to be? Or what does that look
Mm.
like?
One thing I could heal. Mm. I'm just learned this morning I need to heal a sense of unworthiness.
Mm,
And that's probably something that no one would think that I hold. I don't even know if I knew I held that until this morning when I was writing in that journal. But it's that. It's that I need to find whatever is going to work to help me heal through that because I know it. I'm conscious of it. But
hmm.
and my mind spins me so far away from it sometimes that I it's not crystallized for me yet that I am I am the worthiest being I can be. Today, I don't have
Hmm.
to do any more growing to prove my
Yeah.
worth. It's just that I just am. And so
Hmm.
that's something I'm working on healing because it keeps coming up and I didn't think it was mine. But
Yeah.
apparently that is mine, and that is something that actually agitates me in other people. I find when people speak in a way that is unworthy or they kind of self-deprecate, I get agitated. And I'm like,
Hmm.
usually, when the things in other people that agitate us, it's something about us that we have to work through.
Yeah.
And that was never something I received. I'm like, "Ah, I don't have to work through that." No, I got to work through that. I like the people
Hmm.
who's attention seekers who are like annoying and need a lot. They annoy me and I just don't like it. But why? Because they obviously ask and seek their worthiness from another person. They're doing something I cannot do.
Yeah.
I will never ask someone to tell me that I am worth something. I would never actually say that out loud. But that is something I need to work on. I didn't realize, like, oh, that agitates my spirit because it's an unhealed part of me. I have to
Hmm.
see a value and a worth in myself on a different degree. Like I've evolved, but there are instances where I'm like, oh, that was that happened.
Hmm.
I let that go on that long because I maybe I
Yeah.
didn't catch that. So now it's like, and in work, I've worked in it. I worked on that. I come in and I'm, yeah, like, hey, I got an idea. You can shoot it down if you want to. I don't care. It's valuable to me. But when it really comes to the deep, deep, deep inner knowing of myself, that is something that I'm gonna have to start tapping into. And I believe
Yeah.
joy comes from that. The deeper I get to that, the more
Hmm.
joyful of an experience I will have in this lifetime.
That's good. You said a
Thank you.
lot there.
I
I hope
did.
everyone caught it the way I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But you said a lot there. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna check in on you with that.
Okay.
I am.
All
I
right.
will hold you accountable to healing that
Please
this year.
do. I
I
am.
will, because that's
What
amazing.
what about you?
I yeah, wow. I didn't feel like I had an answer for this question when you
Mhm.
started speaking.
Mm.
What happened now? And this year, I am going to heal the fear of abandonment that I've carried with
Mm.
me since I was a little girl.
Mm.
Now, ugh, do I want to cry right now? Absolutely not. So let's
Yeah.
see if we can get this out, you know, minus the tears. But I think for me, accepting and realizing that, you know, my childhood created this fear of abandonment that I
Mm.
took into every single relationship I've ever had.
Mm.
But just now recognizing it, in this current relationship, and not
Mhm.
recently. I mean, it was what 3, 4 years ago at this point, um,
Mhm.
maybe closer to three. But realizing that and not trying to um, control everything around me to ensure that I never feel it again. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way I can say it. and that brought me a
Mhm.
lot of anxiety. But
Mhm.
I also, where I think I healed it in one piece of life, where I'm like, you know what? No, like I'm good. Like I'm
Mhm.
in this relationship. Like we're committed. He's not just going to leave me.
Mm.
And I've accepted that. But there are still other areas of my life
Mhm.
where if I feel, you know, like it might be small to some people, and I get on here and I'm all tough and big and bad, right? And like these are my boundaries, and you will respect them, and like I can say all of that,
Yeah.
but like I have feelings,
Yeah.
and so what might be little to somebody, but it's like no, like if I love you, like and you mean something to me, and you push me away to a place that feels like that's probably a little further than I thought you'd ever push me,
Mm.
right? Then
Mhm.
that abandonment starts creeping back in, and it's like,
Mm.
wow, like because as a child, again, and these are just things that I process as an adult, but like I didn't realize how it was affecting me.
Mhm.
So to now feel like, no, you could push me so far away that like, you're not even here, that
Yeah.
absence, I feel
Yeah.
it a lot deeper than most people probably realize. Um,
Mm.
and so
Mhm.
I think if I could heal that part of me, it would just take some of the pressure off the relationship that
Yeah.
I apply, because they don't know it's there because they don't know me. They don't know that I deal with that. Trey
Yeah.
knows, but I
Mhm.
don't even know if he knows that I deal with that in certain
In that way,
relationships.
yeah.
Yeah, in that way. And so, yeah, I just want to heal that and let it
Mm.
go and rest in the fact, like you said, that like I am worthy. I am
Mhm.
whole. I am more than
Mhm.
enough for
Mhm.
myself and for everybody else. And
Yes.
and I say that not saying like, not to toot my own horn, but like there are some people who say that and who feel it, but they really don't have much to give.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I am worthy, and I still have a heart, with like an abundance of just like
Right.
love and care
Overflowing.
and, yeah, and things
Mhm.
to give. And
Mhm.
so, I want to share that. Like I don't want it for just myself. But yeah. All right.
Yes.
So we kept the tears minimal, but that's out. That's
Yes.
what I want to heal this year.
Well,
Now you guys all know.
yeah, I appreciate that vulnerability. I appreciate you sharing it with this space because somebody needs to hear that. That the power in that is that you are speaking to someone else right now, and
Yeah.
it's going right to their heart. And even if it's just your 35-year-old and 10-day self, that is a big one, right?
Um,
A huge one. That theme of abandonment. That's one. That's a big one. So I appreciate you
yep.
sharing that. I love
Yeah.
you, and
Love you too.
just have to say that because that was I'm taking
Yeah.
some space for that.
And I just realized it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why
Yeah.
these conversations are important, because it's like
Yeah.
there was a younger me who wouldn't have said that out loud. He would have just sat with
Yeah.
that. And I don't have to,
Yeah.
because I didn't say
Yes.
anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and now that it's out, not only do I feel better, but like those around me can start to understand,
Mhm.
because like we think people know all these things about us, and humans are
Right.
not mind readers. Nobody
Right.
knows what we don't tell them.
Right.
And reading in between the lines is a dangerous game to play.
Yes.
Like, baby,
Right.
I promise what's between your lines and their lines are not the same thing.
Not the
They
same.
are
We
not,
are
I don't
still
care
not
how
telling
much
each
you
other the
think.
same story.
Right. Like I don't care how much you think you got it right. Unless y'all looked at each other and cross-checked and signed off and went
Yeah.
separate ways, baby, y'all are not
It's
walking away with the
done.
same
No,
understanding.
it's
You're
not
just not.
the same.
And,
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of times we think that's the reality. Um,
Yeah.
and that's where we go wrong. Now we
Mhm.
gotta, go forward to take two steps back
Yeah.
and figure it out again,
Right.
so that we can really go forward this time and keep
Yeah.
moving forward.
Right.
But now I'm just speaking in code. So
Right. We got to find ourselves between the lines. It's nobody else's
yeah.
responsibility to be there. You can be accountable for yourself and honor your feelings, honor your boundaries all at the same time. Everything can be met with love. And for those who receive it, thank you. Those who don't, thank you too. Yeah, there's something to all of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but you know, it is. It's something about getting that stuff off, like having this space. I'm so grateful for the space we have here
Mhm.
because it has just made things that, like you said, are unmentionable almost, but a constant reality for so many of us. It has made it easier, it's made it safer.
Mhm.
So you know, this is stuff that's like, right, my story's worthy to be told, my feelings are worthy to be told, and it's okay. And this is not anything I'm sharing where anyone could use against me. There's no fear there
Yeah.
about that. You can't use my truth against me. Like, trust me, you can't hurt me because these thoughts I have are vicious. So there's nothing another person can say about what I'm saying right now that can do
Right.
any kind of damage. Like, nope.
Yep.
You could tell myself that. I tell myself that, and I just go, okay, the truth is worth telling. Yeah.
Mm. Amen.
Amen to that.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So we'll get ready and wrap on up. So last one.
Okay.
If this year had a theme word for you, what would it be?
Okay. Uh I said joy a lot today. Uh, so I think I'm gonna go with joy because healing is rooted in finding that joy for me, and
Mm,
not just having fun, but actually, you know, doing the healing work as well to get to joy, to feel it in its wholeness. So that's going to
mhm.
be my theme, I think, of the year, joy. What about you?
Sure. Awesome. I think I have a lot of the same feelings you have. If
Yeah.
this year had a theme, I think it would be acceptance.
Mm.
And I hope that's not too broad, but I think acceptance is what will get me to where I need to be. And
Mhm.
we've had a lot of conversation around this, but it's not easy to look around and be
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, everybody who's here now is coming with." Like
Mhm.
some of y'all ain't gonna make it to 37,
Yeah.
and I have to accept that. Like there's just a
Yeah.
lot of things in life that like I have to learn how to accept and
Yeah.
accept quickly because
Yeah.
tomorrow's not promised. I don't have,
Mhm.
35 seconds to get hung up on that last moment. Like
Yeah.
no, I've got to learn to accept and to move on. Um
Yeah.
so that I can live every moment
Oh, yeah.
because yeah, I think yeah, that's what it would be for me.
I like it. That's
So
good. Okay, joy and acceptance. Okay.
joy and acceptance. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
All right. And we're gonna remember. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
checking in to make sure, that
Yes.
everything you're doing is on the path to
Aligned.
joy and we haven't, yep, no, we're in alignment. We ain't took no
Yeah.
detours, we
Right.
ain't got off track, the car didn't break down. Like we're
Right.
good. We're still going,
Right.
right? Okay.
It might break down, but we still gonna get back to it. You know, it's a goofy movie.
Yeah, we're not gonna turn around. We go,
We not going right. Can't go
go
back. We might get stuck,
right.
but we gonna get out of that.
All
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
Well, I appreciate this
Yeah.
conversation. I know, we need to have everyone, but what a way to really celebrate ourselves
Uh-huh.
on today for
Yeah.
everything that, we've done. So, if you're listening and you've had a birthday recently or you have one coming up, this is your invitation to really pause and
Yeah.
reflect. What do you want this year? Like, what does this year feel like for you? What are you leaving
Mhm.
behind, taking with? Like,
Mm.
all of that. Go back, write down the questions we asked. Ask them yourself. Ask a
Yeah.
friend.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
ask a
good one.
friend.
Sit down and sit with someone, right? Every new
Hmm.
year of life is a chance to reset. Kind of feel like
Yeah,
that, right? So, not with pressure, but with purpose. You
mm,
don't need a full plan. Just a moment
yep.
of honesty with yourself is a beautiful start.
Mm, yes. So let this be the year for you to take up space, say what
Mhm.
you mean, and walk in the direction of your peace.
Yes. And if today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, screenshot it, tag us, let us know what this next year means for you. Do all the social media things.
Yes, yes. I was gonna say, don't forget, follow us on Instagram at For the Mamas Collective. And we've got so much more goodness coming your way. We're glad you're here on this journey with us.
Yeah.
And we just appreciate you. For all y'all that's been listening since day one, we
Yes.
appreciate you for being a part of
Yes.
year 35 and coming into 36 with us.
Yes. Yes. We reaching into our late stage youth. Maybe that's what I'll call it.
Hmm.
Well, until next time, people, take care of yourselves and each other.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.